Now on CoastTV News.
Trash piling up on Milton sidewalks and in front of homes.
Plans on hold after fierce pushback. A proposed moratorium on development of agricultural land has been tabled.
Money problems, DNREC facing a shortfall, what that means and how it could drive up some fees.
And a gust of good news. Winds are not as bad as some experts feared they would be tonight in California, but the fires continue to rage.
On the opposite side of the spectrum, it'll remain sunny, dry with wind chills in single digits and teens all day for tomorrow. Gradually into the weekend, it'll get better before it tanks once again.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Trash and recycling pickups delayed after the snowy coast made roads harder to navigate. Good evening, I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
And I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to Coast TV News at 11. We begin tonight right around the corner in downtown Milton. That's where you'll see some trash piling up on the sidewalks and in front of houses, as last week's snowfall put a big delay on waste companies collecting all that stuff you put out in the bin.
The trash that is now there was supposed to be picked up last week. Obviously, that's not what happened due to road conditions. Coast TV News reporter Brendan Conroy is in our newsroom. Brendan, seemed like those big cans, well, they can barely close.
Charlie, I was there earlier today, and those bins are packed, and they're staying open by themselves. And for some people who live in Milton, that's becoming the case for their own personal trash cans as well. Trash bags and bins piling up with waste. As the town of Milton, along with some other coastal areas, have seen delays in trash and recycling pickups. The reason? Too much snow and ice on the roads, forcing waste companies to wait until things clear up. Meanwhile, people like Roger and Carol Whitford have had their own struggles.
Well, just trying to pull the trash cans through the 12 inches of snow all over was a big problem, you know.
But for them, getting a heads up about the longer wait was all they needed.
They told us about it, and it went fine.
Yeah, notified us, you know, phone, so we kind of knew when it was and we knew when to put it out.
Todd Eisenhuth and his wife Gretchen told Coast TV that they put their trash out on Wednesdays, so they were not affected at all by the pause in pickups.
The roads had been plowed, and it was some to dig out from where the plow had piled up the snow at the edge of the road where we placed the cans, but other than that, it was fine.
There are 5 trash bins on this corner alone. If you take a close look right here, you can tell it's been overflowing all day. But if you live in Milton, there is a plan in place to collect all this trash. Tuesday, the Casella Waste Company went around Milton doing recycling pickups, and they will do their big trash run Wednesday across town to clear up some of our coastal streets and sidewalks. I saw dozens of those trash bins, trash bags, everything over there in Milton. And like I was just explaining, the cleanup crew is on its way, and hopefully we can throw this whole problem in the bin. Guys?
Thank you. Politics can move slowly, but one story today went from proposal to pushback to being tabled all in the span of a few hours. Here's what happened this morning. A new Sussex County councilman introduced a plan that would have banned new development in agricultural zones for a full year. Now, scores of people turned out to the council meeting upset over the idea, and ultimately, council member Matt Lloyd, who was only just recently sworn in, decided to put it on the back burner for now, much to the delight of the people who opposed it.
I think moratoriums are really an overreaction and a short-sighted way to try to solve problems. Moratoriums themselves don't really actually solve problems. They create more problems than they solve by creating some uncertainty in the marketplace and impacting tons of local businesses and local jobs throughout the market.
Now, this part's important. Lloyd says he is planning on talking with council members to try to get their support before reintroducing that plan. And this brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what should guide development decisions in Sussex County?
Let's take a look at the results. Take a look at your screen. You can see 57% saying environmental impact, 4% say job creation, 22% with community input, and 17% saying agricultural preservation.
If you haven't voted yet, you still can at coasttv.com or use the Coast TV mobile app.
We're looking live outside now into Lewis, and our first alert chief meteorologist Paul Williams is going to join us with a look at the weather. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Christina. And overall, the problem with trying to get to certain places to get rid of the trash and all that kind of stuff is because the snow is still sticking around, because it just simply hasn't been warm enough to really melt a lot of it away, unless, of course, it's been treated with the brine and the salt. So we have this current snowpack map. See where the dark blue, that's actually indicating where it's not treated. We're talking about 10 inches of snow, likely still around. Freezing hard as we speak. Same holds true for us in Georgetown, Laurel, Millsboro, Willards, Greenwood area, but it's about 8 inches there. So that kind of gives you a feel as to what's happening with the problem getting rid of the snow efficiently. 30 degrees right now in Lewis, and we're going to stay in the 20s for tonight with mostly clear skies with temperatures falling into the mid-20s by later on tonight. Now, coming up, we're going to be talking more about single-digit wind chills for this week and single-digit temperatures, Christina, for next week.
All right, thanks for that, Paul. Well, winds in Los Angeles, California have not been as fierce as forecasted and could remain lighter than feared today. That's according to the National Weather Service.
But officials say the fire danger is not over and red flag warnings are still in place.
As Maribel Gonzalez reports, the Eaton and Palisades fires now rank among the deadliest and most destructive in California's history.
Get set to leave early if you receive an evacuation warning or order.
And impassioned plea from the Los Angeles County Fire Chief and other area officials. While the severe conditions forecasted have yet to pan out on a wide scale, the biggest fires are nowhere near contained. It is still windy in Southern California, and it may get stronger again overnight into Wednesday.
If fire tells us you've got to go here because the wind's blowing this way and we need to do evacuations, that's where we are going.
Our camera caught a hot spot flaring up on the edge of an evacuation zone Tuesday afternoon. Bystanders jumped in to assist firefighters. Los Angeles County has launched an interactive virtual map to help survivors see the status of their property.
Please note that the maps are being updated daily.
This Altadena Street highlights the seemingly randomness of the paths of destruction. One house remains intact, while neighboring homes are reduced to rubble and ash. FEMA assistance is now available for the thousands of people who've lost so much.
What you're seeing behind us is that community coming together. It's all levels of government, it's nonprofits, it's private sector, all coming together to help individuals impacted from these disasters.
In Altadena, I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
Now, at least 13 people are still missing after the Palisades fire. That's according to Los Angeles police. Of the 35 initially reported missing, 20 have been found safe and 2 are deceased. But the 13 remaining are not presumed dead.
1991 feels like a long time ago, and it should, because much to my own dismay, it was 34 years ago. And 91 was the last time most fees for state parks were changed in Delaware. DNREC says outdated fees can lead to environmental problems that aren't caught until they become emergencies or threats to public health. Updated funding can make programs more sustainable in the long run. CoastTV spoke with one Lewis woman who says funding shouldn't come at the detriment of the park.
We shouldn't have to commercialize it and degrade it in order to keep funding it. And I think that's true for all the parks. I think it's critical with the increase in our development that we have open spaces for people of all ages.
DNREC says fees must align with the actual cost to provide services to continue the work of the department.
New fallout today after Milford decided they don't want to see recreational marijuana sales in city limits. That's a story you saw first here on CoastTV News last night. Now, the choice was between banning retail marijuana sales completely or allowing it in certain areas. Some locals say they're disappointed.
I think it could have been good for the town and a lot of revenue coming into the town. I mean, I'm okay with how they're zoning it away from churches and schools and stuff like that. But to completely ban it from town in general is a little disappointing.
And so this leaves Lewis as the only big city on the coast that could still allow marijuana. There have been no decisions there just yet. And we do have a full story on this and a list of where other towns and cities throughout Delmarva stand on these marijuana bans. So check out CoastTV.com.
President-elect Trump's pick for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was in the hot seat today at his confirmation hearing. Hegseth's opening remarks were interrupted 3 times by pro-Palestinian protesters, but he followed his prepared opening statement almost exactly as it was written, emphasizing Trump's America First agenda.
Of interest.
Yes, sir.
Have you assumed any duties or taken any actions that would appear to presume the outcome of the confirmation process?
No, sir.
Hegseth, a combat veteran and former Fox News host, has faced serious opposition to his nomination with questions about his qualifications, comments he made suggesting women should not serve in combat roles, and allegations of sexual assault and alcohol abuse. And while he has denied any wrongdoing, it was no surprise when some of the exchanges today got tense.
And how many nations are in ASEAN, by the way?
I couldn't tell you the exact amount of nations in that, but I know we have allies in South Korea and Japan and in AUKUS with Australia, trying to work on submarines with them.
Mr. Hegseth, none of those countries are in ASEAN.
Across.
None of those 3 countries that you've mentioned are in ASEAN. I suggest you do a little homework before you prepare for these types of negotiations.
The contentious hearing is the first of a dozen hearings also scheduled this week,
as senators will be questioning President-elect Trump's picks to fill out his administration.
We are just getting going this evening.
Still to come, people protesting over votes in North Carolina, why tens of thousands of ballots are in the spotlight.
And next, back to business. Lawmakers convene in Dover for the start of the legislative session. What's on their agenda this year?
And for tomorrow, we're looking for cold, blustery wind chills in the teens throughout the afternoon. This weekend, we're watching out for showers. And then there's another freeze that's headed our way. We'll be right back in 60 seconds.
Did you know enjoying social activities can slow down age-related issues? The key benefits are stimulation of the mind, improvement in motor skills, building interpersonal relationships, increasing confidence and independence. Home Well Care Services LEAP program provides interactive activities that clients can enjoy twice a month at our Georgetown and Smyrna locations. Incorporating LEAP in your loved one's routine can create a sense of fulfillment and motivation. To learn more information about Home Well Care Services, visit delmarvaexperts.com.
Hi, this is Amber Brazier. Welcome to Brazier's Carpet Care. Drop off your rugs today or have us pick them up and let our state-of-the-art cleaning plant do the rest. Many methods are used to clean rugs, from air dusting to remove fine soil to soaking in our whirlpool. Hand-knotted rugs are carefully washed, rinsed with cold water and wrung out, followed by a trip through the centrifuge before entering our controlled temperature drying room. We also repair all types of rugs from braided to hand-knotted. Quality cleaning by people who care. That's Brazier's Carpet Care.
We have some serious to cold to deal with for the next couple of days. We'll get a little brief break, and then we have some serious cold. Yeah, you thought this week was serious. Wait till you get a load of next week. Spicer Brothers camera, Salisbury, we're 28 degrees. We're going to drop to 25 by 2 o'clock and 24 degrees by 3 o'clock. And the skies will actually begin to clear out a little bit more for us. We'll have mainly clear skies. Here's a look at the temperatures right now. We're looking at 29, for example, in Rehoboth, as well as Bethany Beach, 28 Ocean Pines, 30 degrees right now in Ocean City. It's breezy on the beaches, and it's going to stay that way at least until Wednesday at mid-morning rather. Lewis, Dewey, Ocean View, Fenwick Island. Watch out for 40-mile-per-hour winds. 40 to 45-mile-per-hour winds, Ocean City, down towards Golf Club Shores. And we're looking for it to stay that same kind of windy over towards Crossroads, Nanticoke, as well as the Cambridge area. Then we have a cold weather advisory that's in effect. So we're talking about the wind chill factor falling to 5 or below when we have a cold weather advisory hits. And then we have a newly issued freezing spray advisory. Now, this is connected to water, and see, we're next to the coast, and our bridges can really freeze quickly. You see, land usually, it's kind of more uniform. It's got a bit of more insulation because it's thicker and all that. But over a bridge, the cold air can go right underneath the bridge, so you have a circle or a capsule of cold air that causes it to drop. So you're looking at 30 on the bridge, but 34 on the regular ground, or road. So it's dry here, it gets really slick over the bridge. And then when you have water spraying up, that causes an extra coating of ice. And that's what we're concerned with. And then when you think about how low we're going for tonight, I mean, everybody's going to be in the 20 to 21 to 22 degree category under clear skies. That's a recipe for much colder weather. So we start off, in single digits. I mean, we're warm to 11 degrees for the wind chill factor by 8 o'clock and up to maybe 20, 21 by 2, 3 o'clock. Now, you notice I said warm too. Here's why I said that. This is where we're going to start off Wednesday morning about 8:30, feeling like 7 degrees. Then it's going to feel like 5 degrees on Thursday. Those are just 2 of the days. Now, next week it's going to be even colder. But not until we warm up on Saturday and Sunday, we'll have a chance of rain for both of those days. Saturday, we're looking at green, just rain. Then on Sunday, we could see a slice of snow briefly, so we could get a few flurries in here. But we're going to be very cold following that brief weekend warm-up. So here we go, summarizing. Wind chills at 7 to 15 for tonight and 19. Freezing for the high tomorrow, 35 for Thursday. Now take a look at this. Here's a look at your extended forecast. Notice that Monday and Tuesday temperature, 9 and 8. Those are not typos.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Well, lawmakers are back in Dover today as Delaware's 153rd General Assembly officially begins. Today was day one, and legislators say there's a lot of work ahead, from tackling the housing crisis to improving education and addressing the rising cost of living. Both parties are highlighting their priorities, with Democrats focused on affordability and housing, while Republicans say they're looking to expand support for working families and address pandemic-related learning loss.
We work with our colleagues across the aisle, and that we do not thrive off division, but instead with unity, with the idea that people of Delaware should be the center of all of our legislative decisions, and people that feel like they're in the margins are brought in instead of being pushed out.
And the legislative session runs now through June 30th. In regional news, the Salisbury City Council announced a new policy that's stirring up some controversy.
Salisbury is temporarily ending virtual participation in city council meetings. The council president says it's due to, quote, disturbing images that have been displayed on the Zoom meetings. The council president says this is a temporary measure, but not everybody thinks it's the right move.
I believe that they could have navigated this. I believe that the people in the IT department should have the skill set to manage this. There are features that come with Zoom. They're using a version of Zoom because it goes over an hour. They're not using a free version of Zoom. They're paying for it. So they have those security features. They're just not utilizing them.
Coming up, Starbucks flushing out a new rule, what it means for customers.
And also, Capital One in hot water. The government says the bank is cheating customers. We'll tell you what you need to know.
Don't miss the in-store warehouse clearance sale at Johnny Janaury. Get up to 70% off store-wide. Plus, take an extra 10% off everything. And get no interest till 2027. For a limited time only at Johnny Janaury.
Start the new year off generously by giving to those in need on Delmarva. Coast Country Cares is hosting a Code Purple Drive on Saturday, January 18th at Boulevard Ford in Lewis. Stop by from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. to donate non-perishable food items, warm clothing, cleaning supplies, and more for shelters and those who need it most this winter. For a complete list of items for January 18th, go to coastcountry.com. Coast Country Cares, sponsored by Spicer Brothers.
Designed to outlast and outlive. Toyota trucks are unmatched, unstoppable, unequaled. Tacoma has the best resale value in its class, according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com. Outfitted with the most advanced tech and ready for anything. Buy a Tacoma now with 3.99% APR or lease for just $249 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
Ready to have some fun? Yeah! Somebody's having a night tonight.
I love this win!
Wednesday at 7 on CoastTV.
The competition heats up.
Ain't no party like a Jeopardy party.
The Jeopardy Champions Wild Card Tournament begins.
All bets are off. Anything can happen.
Wednesday at 7:30 on Coast TV.
Don't miss the in-store warehouse clearance sale at Johnny Janaury. Get up to 70% off store-wide, plus take an extra 10% off everything. And get no interest till 2027 for a limited time only at Johnny Janaury.
Take your favorite radio station with you wherever you go. Download free today.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
Who do you bank with? If it happens to be Capital One, listen up. The U.S. government's consumer watchdog agency is suing Capital One, accusing it of cheating millions of customers. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau accuses Capital One of freezing the interest rates of its flagship high-interest rate savings account at low levels, despite rates rising nationwide. And it says the bank launched a new account that offered better interest rates without telling customers with the other type of savings account. Now, it claims that decision cost consumers more than $2 billion in lost interest payments. Capital One says it strongly disagrees with the claims. It says the new account was marketed widely, including on national television, with the simplest and most transparent terms in the industry.
If you want to use the restroom at Starbucks, you're going to need to buy something. That's the new policy at Starbucks stores just announced. The coffee chain will no longer welcome visitors unless they purchase something or are with somebody who is buying something. It's a stark reversal of the chain's long-standing policy to allow anybody into its cafes or to use the bathroom. That came about 8 years ago after a high-profile incident where a Philadelphia location had 2 men arrested when one tried to use the restroom. It was such a big deal that Starbucks temporarily closed all its U.S. stores to conduct racial sensitivity training. The new policy, which calls for workers to ask non-customers to leave, that takes effect January 27th. Happening today, protesters gathered in Raleigh, North Carolina to read aloud all 60,000 names of voters whose ballots are being challenged by a Republican candidate for North Carolina's state Supreme Court. Republican Jefferson Griffin wants a court to throw out 60,000 ballots from his still unresolved 2024 race against Democratic incumbent Justice Allison Riggs. Many of the voters Griffin is challenging have voted for years, and state election officials say their votes are valid.
We're hopeful that people will tune in and maybe hear their name if there are folks that maybe don't realize that their vote is being challenged, and then just draw attention to the absurdity of the whole thing. The fact that there are these 60,000 voters who have registered properly, have voted properly, they did everything right.
Griffin has not provided any evidence of voter fraud, but a Republican Party spokesman says because of an administrative error by the State Board of Elections, that those votes should be thrown out for non-compliance with a law that requires the state to verify voters' identification. Coming up in sports, the Camden, Delaware community supporting unified athletes as Polytech takes on Cesar Rodney.
And coming up, comfort foods. They may soothe your soul, but could they hurt your brain? What experts are saying.
And here's a look at your day part forecast. You know, we're not even going to reach freezing tomorrow. That pretty much says it all.
Delmarva's hit music station, 102.5 WBOC.
Struggling with moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis? Talk to your doctor about #1 prescribed Entyvio, offering 2 maintenance options, including the Entyvio pen. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. PML, a rare, potentially fatal brain infection, cannot be ruled out. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, sores, or are prone to infections. Liver problems can occur. Entyvio, relief, remission for real.
Entyvio, Entyvio, Entyvio.
Start the year off right with a new mattress from Johnny Janaury's Mattress World. Shop the biggest selection at the lowest prices guaranteed. Right now, save up to $1,200 on Kingsdown mattresses. Plus, get a $300 rewards card with your premium mattress purchase. And save more with 0% APR for up to 48 months. Your better days start with a better night's rest. Visit Johnny Janaury's Mattress World today.
At the Delmarva Design Center, appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring come together in one showroom. We have specialists in each division, like myself in tile, to ensure that you have the best product to fit your needs, and that your selection fits seamlessly with every element of your remodel.
I was able to look at everything that I was looking for from my new kitchen, including the backsplash and the countertop and the sinks all in one place.
Delmarva Design Center. Great design starts with great inspiration. Selbyville, Delaware.
There's only one place to go for your next vehicle. IG Burton. Trusted since 1908 for our expert team, massive selection, and our unbeatable prices. You simply won't find a better deal anywhere else. But it's not just about unbeatable prices. It's about superior service before, during, and after each sale too. Visit us today, and remember,
nobody beats a Burton deal. Nobody. Did you know after the fourth missed mortgage payment, pre-foreclosure starts and you're headed to auction? This will ruin your credit and make it hard to buy or even rent in the future. To stop the foreclosure, look into a loan modification, file bankruptcy, or call a professional home buyer. You don't have to lose your home, but you do have to act fast. Delmarva Dave is here to help. For more information about Delmarva Dave, visit delmarvaexperts.com.
You may soon find nutrition labels in a more prominent place on food packages. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is proposing some nutrition information be placed on the front of packaged foods. And the proposed label would break down information about sodium, added sugar, and saturated fat content. It would also say whether the food contains low, medium, or high levels of nutrients. The nutrition label on the back of the products would remain and complement the information on the front. In a statement Tuesday, the FDA said the agency's nutrition priorities are part of a government-wide effort in combating the nation's chronic disease crisis. Well, a lot of times your diet might take a back seat when things aren't going so well. You might turn to sweet or savory foods when you're feeling stressed. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains how comfort foods impact our brain and how you can trick yourself into eating healthier.
It's what we tend to turn to in times of turmoil. Comfort food may bring quick but temporary relief during a bad day, but it can also have a significant impact on your brain.
The first thing that happens is you're not satiated, so you want more of that same food. So it starts to tap into your craving cycles. But the other reason is that these foods then become quite addictive.
Dr. Uma Naidu says research shows that foods that are high in sugar, for example, can also tap into the same reward pathways in the brain as substances like street drugs.
Unfortunately, because these foods cause high blood sugar levels over time, this over the course of your life can actually impact your brain and lead to things like atrophy or brain atrophy. So it actually is damaging to your brain.
Avoiding these foods can be hard. Naidu says the moment something is off limits, your brain wants it more. But she says you can trick your mind into developing healthier habits.
What about some blueberries in your fridge? A clementine with a piece of dark chocolate does phenomenal.
Naidu says instead of giving up an entire food group, your brain will do better with the 80-20 rule.
Which is 80% of the time be eating those healthy foods, and 20% of the time it's the holidays or life happens or it's your birthday, you're traveling, and it's okay.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And Dr. Naidu says it's important to remember that living a healthier lifestyle is a continuum, and it's important to make changes to your diet over time.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening, sports fans. After a snow week, sports are back in session in Camden, Delaware with some unified basketball at Caesar Rodney High School. With the Riders taking on the Polytech Panthers, the DIAA and the Special Olympics teaming up to provide an opportunity for students of all abilities to play varsity sports. Coaches, staff, and community members coming together to support these athletes. And it was the Riders earning the victory today. After the game, CR head coach Sky Boris spoke about what this experience means to her team.
It's just really empowering, allowing individuals with, special needs to have an opportunity to play a varsity sport and get to play with their peers and in front of their peers is exciting to them. So it just means a lot. Just being more inclusive and accepting others and, being able to support them in this kind of aspect is really the biggest thing.
To Pokemoga, new banner hanging up. The 1A boys 4x100 state champion relay team, the school's first ever state title in outdoor track with a time of 42.99. The Warriors honored at halftime of the boys JV basketball game. Team members Jameer Roberts, Marique Palmer, Talon Thomas, and Kaishawn Johnson received varsity letter jackets commemorating their title. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
Still ahead, learn how to fix your clothes like a 19th century surfman. Details about some hands-on history happening this weekend.
Coast TV First Alert Weather. Your safety, our commitment.
Mom, you have my lunchbox? I have your
What if your morning was just easier? At Wawa,
Good morning.
it is. With everything you need to get your day moving. Mornings made easy. Gotta have a Wawa.
Tomorrow at 4 on Coast Life.
Maybe things will change one day.
Meet a talented singer-songwriter from Delaware captivating audiences with her unique blend of pop, R&B, and folk. Coast Life. Tomorrow at 4 on Coast TV.
Before I had my hearing loss treated at Mass Audiology, I had a hard time trying to participate in daily activities. Now I can hear.
If you're having trouble hearing, you should schedule a diagnostic hearing evaluation with an audiologist. If a hearing aid is necessary, the audiologist should prescribe a hearing aid and verify it using real ear measurements to ensure that it fits your needs. Call Mass Audiology and ask how Signia hearing aids can treat your hearing loss. To learn more information, visit delmarvaexperts.com.
Ring in 2025 with a new roof from Spicer Brothers. Right now, get 20% off materials, plus save 25% on your entire roofing project. Our expert team is dedicated to providing unmatched customer service and quality craftsmanship. It's the perfect time to upgrade your home and start the year strong. So don't miss out on the 2025 savings with 20% off materials and 25% off your entire roofing project. Visit SpicerBros.com or call now to schedule your free consultation. Make Spicer Brothers your New Year's resolution because you deserve the best.
You should definitely check out the New Year, New Ride sales event at Boulevard Fornagay in Georgetown and Lewis. We have over 300 Fords on the lot ready for you to drive home today, including options under $30,000, like this 2025 Ford Escape. With over 4,500 vehicles in the Preston network, we are sure we'll have the right vehicle for you. Hop online and visit boulevardauto.com to see our entire inventory. So don't miss out on this great sales event at Boulevard Fornagay in Georgetown and Lewis.
Cars cost less with Preston.
Get the Coast TV News app. The latest and most up-to-date stories for your coastal community. Coastal news customized to your needs. Download the Coast TV News app on your Apple or Android devices. Coast TV, our community, your news.
Right now, Wawa Rewards members can get any size hot coffee for $1, or any size iced coffee for $2, or a 16-ounce Monster Energy for $3. So why aren't you a Wawa Rewards member yet? Join and redeem your bonus offers today.
This weekend at Delaware Seashore State Park, you can step into the world of the surfmen. Those are the lifesavers who worked along the coast before the Coast Guard existed. Those heroes rescued shipwreck survivors, and their historic station, which was built back in 1876, it still stands in Rehoboth Beach as a museum. And this weekend, you can learn about their work and try your hand at 19th century sewing. So bring your ripped clothes and fix them the way the surfmen did.
I didn't know that. You get smarter watching this newscast, huh? Okay, total tidal health right now in Salisbury, 28 degrees for us, so we're going to drop down to 24. Clear skies by 3 o'clock. Now, keep in mind, we do have an umbrella winner. That is actually Leon Scully of Milford. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. You can keep up with your forecast, and you'll need to. By calling our weather line at 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away. Sponsored by the law office of Brockstead, Mandalis, and Federico. And here's the lowdown on the serious situation. So it's really chilly for this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But MLK Day, 31 for the high, then 9 for the low. Then the day after, 18 for the high and 8 for the low.
That's too low, Paul, but I do appreciate the accuracy. Thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11.
For some more local news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app.
The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, that's up next.
We'll see you back here tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.